Okay, so as far as updates, could we talk briefly about the FBI situation?
I believe that he's knowingly infecting girls with STDs. He gave me chlamydia and he gave me HPV. He finished inside me, and that's one of the things that I'm suing him for, because that's considered assault. He's under investigation for unlawful recording and revenge, and he's still offering it.
Has he called you since the last time he called you?
No comment.
Let's get into it. Fall is upon us and everyone is busy preparing for the holidays. But don't worry, Factor Meals is here to help you along the way. Their fresh, never frozen meals will ensure that you get all the nutrition you need. Every week you'll have a choice from over 35 meals that promote a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences. The best part of Factor Meals is that they're ready in just 2 minutes and the flavor is great. Try some of their fall specials like cranberry pecan chicken and apple Dijon pork chops, ready in just 2 minutes. There are so many options to choose from, whether you're looking for something with more protein or a keto-based diet. Head to factormeals.com/Sloan50 and use code Sloan50 to get 50% off. That's code Sloan50 at factormeals.com/Sloan50 to get 50% off. Thank you, Factor Meals, and enjoy this episode.
Welcome back to Let's Get Into It podcast, hosted by me, Sloan. And today we are joined by a guest we had recently on, Shelly Auguste, because she has more to address with her situation going on with Diplo. So first off, how are you doing?
I'm good, Sloan. How are you?
I'm ready now. I'm ready to dive right into it. So we did a 2-episode series. If you guys have not seen that, definitely go and check that out. But since then, people have had more questions. There have been more developments, and there's just more to get into. So let's go ahead and start off by talking about the $1.2 million settlement situation, because I feel like people still don't fully understand what that means.
Yes. Okay. So I've been wanting to clarify this for such a long time. People are very misinformed when it comes to what it actually entailed. So the thing about it is, if I wanted to, I could take him to arbitration.
Yeah.
And I could easily win the same amount, if not more, for all of the breaches that he's done, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is, I can't afford to take him to arbitration. The $1.2 million stems from an arbitration based off of the mutual agreement that we signed, right? This was supposed to be confidential.
So this was essentially he did some stuff. Some stuff went down between you two. You both filed for a restraining order, right? And then you both agreed to make this restraining order private.
Right.
And that's what led to him. So he essentially claims that you violated this privacy agreement.
Yes. So under the pretense of the fact that I didn't want my identity known at the time. So when I filed my TRO with Lisa Bloom, my identity was sealed. Everything was redacted. No one really knew who I was. I was private, right? So when this agreement was suggested or presented, I'll say, I was basically told, if we do continue through the court system for the court-ordered restraining order, your information will be private. I mean, public. Everything will be public. Your name, your address, all of that is public record. So it was kind of this might be the better option, right?
Yeah, if privacy is your number one goal, then this is the best option for now. But then essentially that,
it's me over completely. And the thing is every single lawyer I've spoken to afterwards has said, I would have never let you do that.
Yeah.
You should have gone through, got your court-ordered restraining order, been protected by the court regardless, and not be involved in this. Arbitration is structured for, businesses and wealthy people to have private resolutions to disputes. Mm-hmm. But there's a disadvantage. There's a disadvantage when it comes to the money, right? So it's $14,000 just to have the arbitration. Then you have to pay the arbitrator, who can be a mediator or former judge, whatever, thousands of dollars a day. That is their hourly rate is insane. So it's in their best interest technically, or essentially, to rule in favor of the person who's putting that money in their pocket, right? Because it's return business, it's return clients. So the breakdown of the arbitration is this. I don't know if I can't really say like exactly what was in the agreement, but one of the provisions was if I were to, or if he disparaged one another's name directly or indirectly, then we would have to go to arbitration or could bring each other to arbitration. And each breach would constitute as $50,000.
And so you made this agreement where you both say, okay, we're not going to like slander or defame each other. We're not going to talk about each other publicly. But then he kind of, in my opinion, manipulated this agreement because he then pulled things like you tweeting out Taylor Swift lyrics and anything that could subtly suggest him, which in reality, I mean, it's really just, you could be talking about anyone or just putting a song lyric out
literally,
there.
I was like listening to Taylor Swift at the time and I'm tweeting the lyric. That's something I do. That's something I've done since I was a kid. You know, like now on Instagram, they have it where you can actually like post the actual song with the lyrics and stuff. But like at that time, I was just like tweeting the lyric because I was listening to the song. He took, there was a Rihanna retweet. I think I mentioned it in the last one too. I tweeted something about Chantel Jeffries.
Yeah.
Which had nothing to do with him at all. Nothing to do with him. But basically he argued that because that's his ex-girlfriend, which I didn't even freaking know at the time. That it, related. It was about him.
So then he stacked up these tweets or these like really minor things and then took you to court saying that you violated this.
Well, no, it's not
agreement.
court. It's
or
not
arbitration.
So that's what I want everyone to understand. Arbitration is not court. There's no due process. There's no jury of your peers. There's no judge. There's nothing. This is an independent person who you are paying an hourly fee, thousands of dollars, to decide if you made a breach or not.
Weird. So it's really just like an agreement, and then who's really like holding it together is this firm who's hired by whichever person to then make this agreement. Did he like pick your guys' like arbitration people? Okay, so he essentially just got these people who know how to, screw people over with contracts, then had you sign one. So then you are now like left with a big bill from this firm. And so then how much did they charge you? The 1.2 million, right?
Yes. So the breakdown of the 1.2 million is this. I had 10 breaches, right? So that constituted as $50,000 from tweets and I think some Instagram posts, right? One of them was literally a meme. A meme. Just insane. So $50,000 each, $500,000, right? Then where the other part comes is a 700, I think it was like 700.2, like something like that, for legal fees, his attorney's fees, the cost of arbitration, the arbitrator's fee, all of that. That's what equated to the $1.2 million.
So then when we read $1.2 million settlement online, it's not a settlement within the courts, a weird settlement that this arbitration firm just put out. And it sounds like half of them are just like collecting their fees or...
More than half. 700,000 of it is just for the fees of the arbitration and his fucking lawyers.
So can essentially he took this, ran with this and said that you are now like, you have no credit because he's gotten you caught up in this arbitration situation.
And he's been able to spin the narrative, unfortunately, to people where they think that like it's the lawsuit, that I lost a lawsuit or that he won a lawsuit against me. They don't realize this is from a private agreement that was leaked to TMZ, I wonder by who. And it was because of tweets, not because of harassment. I wasn't saying like
you weren't telling your story yet or anything. Like it was really minor things.
Yeah.
So then just to remind people, the lawsuit, you are suing him for a few different things. And some of them are involving like video recording, inappropriate things, assault in general. As far as the case goes, we're just kind of at a pause, right? Or next year, there's going to be a court.
It's still pending litigation. It is still pending litigation. So my lawsuit was not thrown out, despite whatever narrative he tries to run with. And his is still pending as well. So he didn't win his lawsuit against me. And his it's very complicated, like how all of this turned out. Like I said in my last one, I really think Lisa Bloom really
screwed
fucked me over
big time. Yeah,
and it's just crazy. But trial is set for April of next year, and. Yeah.
Is it all like private, or will the trial be public?
No, the trial is what's public. The trial is what I've been waiting for. Yeah. The trial is what I wish. It was supposed to happen twice already. It was supposed to happen, I think, in November, and then it was supposed to happen in September of last year. It keeps getting prolonged because they keep I feel like, you know, his lawyers, and I was told this in the beginning too by a couple of different attorneys. They're like, listen, we know how Brian Friedman works. They're going to drag this out as long as they possibly can. They're going to want to tire you out. They're going to want to tire your lawyers out. They're going to want to strain you financially until you just say, fuck it, I'm done. Like, I can't take it anymore. Yeah. So that's literally what's been happening. So we'll see if trial even happens in April, but that's...
Has he called you since the last time he called you, the lawyer?
So it wasn't Brian Friedman who called me last time. It was Brian Turnauer.
Has he called you anymore?
He has called me again, yeah.
Yeah, what do you have to say?
I did not pick up.
Did anyone say anything to you about the podcast? Any, like, legal, like, lawyers or anything? No?
No, but I did not pick up, but I guarantee that's probably what he was calling for, to threaten me in some other way.
Well, also, there are also other ways to silence you, like, hence your TikTok that had all of those videos recorded. So, like, after Shelly came onto the podcast, like, some of those clips did really great online. Did you see that? Like, millions of views.
Yeah, I had like 3 million views on one of them in like 2 days, and then the next thing I know, my whole fucking account is gone. I mean, my account was gone, and when I got my account back, it was every single video was what is it called? Like flagged or
like
community guidelines. Yeah, so it was, I think, like a bot. Like a mass reporting bot or something.
Well, luckily you are back, so all your socials and your GoFundMe will be listed below, which we'll talk more about that a little bit, but I just want to like make sure while we like... Okay, so as far as updates, you've mentioned that the authorities have gotten involved. How have they gotten involved?
Yes, okay, so because of the episode that I did with you, a lot more girls started to come forward, right? Including one girl who I don't know if you remember, I was debating bringing her up on the last episode, and I refrained from that.
Was she the young one?
Gina.
Okay, so Gina.
Yeah. So Gina, I was going to bring up the fact that he had sent me her video and how like that caused me a lot of distress too when I realized that, you know, she was diagnosed with HIV and all of that. So I ended up not bringing her up because I just wanted to respect her privacy, and that's just not something that I wanted to like throw out there in case she didn't want to. But the crazy thing is that like 2 days after the episode came out, she made a TikTok about it, and her TikTok went viral.
So y'all know I've come to terms that I don't know who gave me AIDS or HIV, right? So today I got a message about an interview that I should watch, and this interview happened to include a celebrity man that I was sexually with for a few years, and I actually had feelings for this person. Let's just say this interview put a very bad light on this person, and I've dealt with cops over this person. This man has been with me and everybody else doing the same thing with everybody else, and I don't know how to just brush it off anymore, because it's like, what if this is the person who did this to me and he's living his best life? I can't do anything about it. I have it now. I'm half blind from it. I'm dealing with it.
And she was basically insinuating that after watching the episode, she started kind of thinking like, okay, well, like if you've done this with her and you've done this with other girls, like, are you the one who gave this to me? Like, it was kind of like, obviously this is all like speculation. We don't know. We don't know who gave it to her, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he has it or not. I've never ever said that I think that he has HIV. My thing is, included in my lawsuit, is that I believe that he's knowingly infecting girls with STDs. He gave me chlamydia and he gave me HPV, which is human papilloma virus, which is something that can turn into cervical cancer later on, especially if you have a history of cancer in your family, which I do.
Oh, no.
Yes. So that's kind of like how that happened. But she made a TikTok and she was just kind of upset. She was upset about it.
Just like realizing that like, oh, this could have been the dude that infected me with
like who knows because of the negligence and the recklessness, right? So she made a TikTok and then she reached out to me. And I'm not going to get into the context of our conversations.
Was it like a friendly conversation? Right?
Yeah,
like supportive?
It was friendly. She actually told me, I told her, I was like, this is crazy because I almost mentioned you on the episode and I refrained from it because I was scared that you were going to be mad. And she was like, no, not at all. Like, she's like, I would not have been upset if you mentioned me at all. And we just kind of started talking, and then like more revelations were coming. And there are things that she was telling me that other girls have told me before. It's crazy how like the pattern is so consistent with every single girl that he's encountered.
Not to have like kind of a stupid question, but like if she has this infection, would that mean like you would also have this infection, or was she kind of like someone later on after like you had your last sexual encounter with him?
I believe she was. Okay, so what happened is at the time that he recorded them having, unlawfully recorded them and then distributed it to me.
Yeah.
She already had it.
Oh.
But she wasn't diagnosed until I think 2021.
Okay.
So that's when I found out that she had it. And that's why I was freaking the fuck out. And I was like, holy shit. But I had already been getting tested. Like I had been getting tested, and I am not positive for HIV at all. Like I've asked my doctors so many times, what's the chance of it being a false negative? And they're like, no, trust me, you do not have it. There's a certain way that people catch it, apparently.
Like, could it have possibly been dormant, like in her body for some time, or something along those lines?
I think so.
See, we're not medical experts.
Yeah, because apparently she was saying, I think that like by 2021 she had already had it for a couple of years. For it to be able to get to AIDS, you have to have it for years.
Oh, okay.
It was AIDS, not just HIV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still like I'm not that informed on it, which I should be, especially because I'm like on PrEP. So like,
really,
yeah, I feel like everyone should be on PrEP.
Yeah,
it's just like, you know, you never know when you could catch it.
Yeah,
and it doesn't.
And you don't know how, I guess, either.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of just depends on like I've heard so many different things. Like it's like if I guess kind of like with herpes, you have to have like an outbreak at the time. I don't know how it is with HIV.
Yeah, I thought like for HIV you have to have like it has to get into your blood.
That's
so, like,
what I
have to,
yeah.
So I don't know if you can like if you like.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I don't know.
Wait, so
I made a TikTok.
Yeah.
Stitch replying to her after I got the okay, and she was like, after she let me know that she wouldn't have been bothered that I brought her up on your episode, I made a TikTok basically saying I think that she's referring to an interview that I did with Sloan, and then I just kind of spoke about that, and I said, unfortunately, he sent me a video of her, and that caused me distress as well, and I don't even remember what else I said in the video, but yeah, and that video got like 3 million views in 2 days, and I guess he was like, we got to get this shit shut down.
Yeah.
Shut down my whole account, had community guidelines on every single video. I had to contact TikTok's legal team and be like, if this was a personal favor, then I'm taking legal action against you guys as well.
And then
my
reinstated?
account was literally put back in the next day.
Oh, that's so scary. I mean, it's great that you are coming together with these other people. So, like, you know, you're supporting each other's stories. There's like a lot of people who have now like are starting to speak on the situation. So that part's great. Everything else is unfortunate. And then him like trying to silence it too. It's like he's just up to no good as every other executive out here.
And you know it's crazy. When the police first so she had made a video when she made her TikTok, and she said like, I dealt with police over this person. I had given the police the video.
Oh, really?
And they contacted her.
Oh.
And they basically, and she was sick at the time. She was really sick at the time with like just being diagnosed. But he told her that I hacked his phone.
And like stole the video for yourself?
He told her that I hacked his phone and took the video. So now I'm like, he must have told like any other girls who have asked him, like, have you distributed mine or whatever? Who knows? That's probably what he's saying, because his lies.
Do you think he believes his own lies almost? It seems like he's convinced himself. Like living in delusion almost.
I think he's living in delusion, because even there was another TikToker who did a deep dive on him named Becca Day.
Yeah.
She did a really extensive deep dive on him.
According to Shelly, the first message that Diplo sent her on Snapchat was him requesting that she send him nudes. At the time Diplo began requesting these, he was 36 and Shelly was 17. Diplo then allegedly began sending nudes of himself and then asking Shelly to send him very specific nude photographs. At this time, Shelly had never even had a boyfriend, nor did she know how to carry on a flirtatious conversation, let alone with a grown man.
And he DMs her and he's like, hey, like, can I take you out to pizza so we can talk and blah, blah, blah. Like starts saying all these weird things. And he starts saying that, Quinn Blackwell has severe mental health issues and she's just mad because, our music situation didn't work out. And Azealia Banks, she lives on another planet. She's on a completely different planet. And then with me, he was saying like, by the way, like, ask her for her ID. She was born in 1995. I was born in 1996, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Second of all, he said, ask her for any communications of us from before the year 2020. That's the smoking gun for you. She won't show it to you.
So
I literally was like, Becca, here's a picture of my ID. Here's all the communication.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say all, but I was like, here's communications proving with the timestamp. You can literally see on my MacBook, I sent her a recording of, because it has like the dates, you know, like the metadata is there.
yeah. So Becca, she's not necessarily involved besides just covering what has been collectively shared online, right? And then,
Right.
And then she put this together, and it led to Diplo reaching out to her to try to defend himself against her viral TikTok. And in his defense, he kind of went into detail about everyone who has been outspoken, and then each person he just tried to discredit with whatever he like thought would
They're
like
crazy.
maybe convince Becca.
They're crazy. They have mental issues. Like, okay, well, we all can't be crazy. We all can't have mental issues, you know? And I guess he was kind of just trying to convince her to take it down. So in that, he offers her an audio recording of me. He says, what's your email so I can send you an audio recording?
Why? It's so like it's like, why is he? I mean, of course we want him to acknowledge and like take accountability, but also at the same time, he's not doing any of that. He's making it so much worse.
There's no accountability. And that's the saddest part, you know, like I'm not going to give credit to like other abusers out there. I would never do that. But like when you think about it, isn't it so crazy how like, think about like Shia LaBeouf or I don't know if Armie Hammer did this, but I feel like there's been so many different celebrities who have had allegations come out against them, and what their statements have been is, although I stand in solidarity with victims of abuse, I did not do these things.
Yeah.
He has not once done that. He has not once said, I stand in solidarity with victims of abuse. I feel bad for victims. He doesn't care because he doesn't feel bad. He doesn't. Instead, it's just like, how can I defend myself? How can I make them be the ones that are crazy? How, you know what I mean? And it's just like,
And he just wants to discredit you all. So he offered to send this voice memo. Did Becca receive it? Do you know?
I don't know, but
it's taken from arbitration, right?
Yeah, that's what I believe.
Which would have been technically illegal.
Confidential and illegal, and this is what I'm saying. But here's the thing. That's why he tried so hard to silence me, and now it's all coming together. It's like, holy shit! This is why he took me to arbitration. This is why he had the arbitration provision in there. This is why he wanted me silent. Because do you know how many girls have come forward since just your episode and just Gina's TikTok and my stitch? Like, so many.
Fall is upon us, and everyone is busy preparing for the holidays. Just because you might not be headed on vacation anytime soon doesn't mean it's time to let yourself go. And Factor Meals is here to help you along the way. Their fresh, never frozen meals will ensure that you get all the nutrition you need. Every week, you'll have a choice from over 35 meals that promote a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences. The best part of Factor Meals is that they're ready in just 2 minutes, and the flavor is great. If you guys know me, you know fall time is the best time. And right now, Factor Meals has all their fall favorites available, like cranberry pecan chicken and apple Dijon pork chops, ready in just 2 minutes. There are so many options to choose from, whether you are looking for something with more protein or a keto-based diet. They're also offering gourmet plus options. Treat yourself to upscale meals with premium ingredients like broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, and asparagus. Head to factormeals.com/Sloan50 and use code Sloan50 to get 50% off. That's code Sloan50 at factormeals.com/Sloan50 to get 50% off. Thank you, Factor Meals, and enjoy the rest of this episode.
So many have been reaching out even to Becca. Girls have been reaching out to me. I know Gina's taking legal action.
Yeah.
She is in the process of taking legal action. I know another girl who's also taking legal action. And I also want the viewers to know that aside from me, I'm 1 out of 5 girls who have already taken legal action against him. No one knows about the other 4. Well, there was one that was public, the Vegas one.
Okay.
But the other 3 have all been kind of like, you know, what the arbitration was. Not arbitration, but like mediation or pre-litigation. It never really gets to the public. He's able to squash it before it gets.
So you've been put through the ringer as far as the legal battle. Is there an opportunity for people to join you and there's a class action lawsuit because there are more people who are coming forward? Like, could they, I mean, in any technical way, could they just join onto your lawsuit and it can become something that's more than just your case against him?
I don't know.
Have you had anyone like interested in that?
I think most of the girls have been taking their own independent legal action. I don't really, and because my case is so far along, I don't really know. I think for class actions, again, I don't really know, but I think for class actions, it would have to have started as one.
Because at this point, it'd be like you getting in there and changing what you, I guess not changing, obviously, but adding evidence that maybe they're not accounting for.
I mean, there could be a class action now if girls start, And
it could even be like
with other, I don't think I would be a part of it. I think it would be like whoever,
something private.
Yeah.
So can you explain a little bit where your GoFundMe, like what that is going to and how you've been able to use that or how you're going to hopefully use that?
Yes. Okay. So I'm so thankful that people have been donating to my GoFundMe, because if it wasn't for my GoFundMe, I would not have been able to afford the attorney that I have now.
Yeah.
And I like her a lot. She's great. She's been awesome so far. She helped me get a granted TRO against him. So he filed a temporary restraining order against me after my TikToks, and the judge denied it. The judge was like,
what was his, did he have a basis? What did he say it was for?
He said,
was it harassment?
It said civil harassment.
Stalking?
It was civil harassment, and he said,
I remember you telling
everyone
me about it.
Yeah, it was so weird.
But it was so it was weird.
It was so weird.
How quickly was it denied? Like, does the judge like look at that pretty much right away?
Same day.
Yeah.
The same day. So basically, when you file a TRO, you have to write what the damages or the harassment is. And he basically said that the damages and the injuries were to his reputation. Reputation. That's what he put on there.
Which is like almost another way of saying like defamation, which if you do defamation, you have to like prove damages, which he's been out here, it seems like living his best, creepy life. So it's not
that's also what happened with the arbitration. That's why it's just so evidently biased, because for the arbitration, you're supposed to prove that the person has affected you being able to continue to make money. He's been booked and busy.
Yeah.
He has not been affected, not even scratched the surface of being affected.
Because Lisa Bloom screwed you over so hard, do you almost feel like she set you up? Like does she know this firm you were getting into this deal with before?
People keep asking me that.
Yeah.
And now that's tripping me out.
Yeah,
I've had so many freaking people ask me that, and it's really tripping me out.
Well, she's kind of like, I've heard really mixed things about her. Like some people are like, oh, no, she's great. But then I've heard also she just like takes these vulnerable girls, tries to get them up on a stand, like, or, not a stand, but on a press stand, and then tries to get her like 15 minutes of fame off of them, and then just like pushes them back into her
she
firm.
represented Harvey Weinstein. I didn't know that when I retained her. And also, it's crazy because, this man keeps saying that I want my 15 minutes of fame and that I've tried to extort him. I extort him for millions of dollars is what he continues to say. I have never asked for $1.
Like your lawsuit.
My lawsuit doesn't even have a dollar amount. My lawsuit doesn't even have a dollar amount. I got offered $2,000 by The Sun. Do you know The Sun publication in the UK for an interview? And I declined.
Yeah.
This was back when I was still represented by Lisa.
Yeah.
So when it first happened, they wanted the story on my TRO.
Did she help you do that, or did they just like reach out to you?
They reached out to her.
Like, I wonder if she was like going to get a percentage of that. Like, I wonder if that's how she works. She just like pushes these girls into PR and then just collects her agent money.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah, there needs to be a deep dive into her. Let's talk a little bit about like how the social media posts have been like. I mean, from his end, there's been obviously no like accountability. He completely tried to push a whole story with you on his page with like a bunch of screenshots, and it ended up like screwing you over. And there's also another account online that he's like blamed you for.
Yeah.
So this account, the name is KAEGALELEL account.
Yes.
It's like Kegel. I don't know what to
Kegel,
call it. We'll just call it like the
Kegel.
K account or something.
Yeah.
So, what is this account and why is this involved?
He included it in his Instagram post about me where he basically wrote all these defamatory statements about me, knowingly false statements, including one where he calls me, I think, an escort, or said that he thought that I was, what did he say? That he thought I was, I think he used the word escort or sex worker or something like that. And it's like, it's so funny because he's so manipulative and he has really good memory too. That's why I don't think that he believes his lies. I think he's just really good at like manipulating people, because one of the things I had responded to him one time when he hit me up in the middle of the night telling me to just come over, I was like, I'm not a fucking call girl. Like, I'm not your call girl. Like, you know, this was like kind of towards in the beginning. So I'm like, he used that word because he knew that it would affect me. That post that he made was for me. It was to affect me. He blamed me for this account, this Kegel, whatever account. And he's saying that I am the person behind it and has sent racist messages to his baby mama. And he keeps telling people this. He didn't just post it. He keeps telling people this. He messaged it to Becca.
Yeah.
His lawyers subpoenaed that IP address. That IP address does not match any of my IP addresses. It doesn't match any of my accounts. It doesn't match any of my IP addresses. Like, they already know that that's not me, but he's still running with that narrative because clearly he has other girls who he probably has pissed off, you know, along the years of his craziness. And that's what they're doing. But that wasn't me.
You're like, so you think that he's running this account?
I don't think he's running this account. I think it might be a girl who had relations with him or something, and she's
just like crazy on one. Like, just taunting people.
Or who knows if it's even a girl. I don't know who the fuck it is.
Yeah.
It could be a troll.
But he's attributing it to you.
Yeah, he's attributing it to me, and it's absolutely not me.
Yeah. I also think him trying to, like, no hate to like sex workers, but him trying to insinuate you're a sex worker. It's like you like were like a virgin, like, to that point. So like he knew. That's like, and he knows that it's gonna affect me that deeply. That's why he did it. That's why he said it. He knew that keyword would affect me. And yeah, so crazy. Last night I was watching Jane the Virgin because I literally just like started watching it, and the grandma's like telling her like, you have to wait till marriage and blah blah blah, like God's will. And like, I'm literally like, oh my God, my grandma told me that too, and I gave it to this fucking monster. Do you still like feel, I feel like, I mean, it's been some time since that's happened. Do you still feel like that's going to be something that's going to haunt you forever? Like that you're like, because it's something you've always, because some people like, I feel like especially nowadays, some people don't care about virginity. They're like, whatever, like like most people, I feel like they just want to get it over with and just be done with it. But in some, you know, a lot of people also believe it's very like sacred and like romantic and like giving yourself to someone. So is that kind of where you stand, where it was like, it's something that will always haunt you because you feel like this like monster essentially stole like some innocence from you? Yeah.
Yes. And yeah. And it makes me sad.
And do you think that's something he gets off on? Like just doing that to other women too? Like kind of seeking out.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know much about Gina or.
No, I don't think Gina was a virgin. I know a couple of other girls who've reached out to me who have said like they were virgins too, and that he's,
or like young at least, right? Was Gina young?
Yeah. I think Gina was of age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there's been another girl who came out on Alexa's podcast.
And you're talking to a child, Diplo.
On
You
Snapchat,
were
and that's what
15 years old.
I know.
That's a child. And here's this like dip coming in and being like, how old are you? Heart emoji, which by the way, gross. Second of all, he goes, ha ha, you look 15. Wait, he has the purr emoji to Snapchat?
But he sent me a photo from his home in his basically completely underwear, so photos, unsolicited, and I was 16.
Oh my God, no way.
And she was 15.
Can you explain that a little bit more? So what happened with that? So she was 15 when she started messaging with him, or like something happened?
He reached out to her when she was 15. He DM'd her and he said, he sent her a heart and he was like, haha, you look 15. And she was 15.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like in the message to Becca on TikTok, he says, who are these other teenage girls? There are none. You can't even show any because they don't exist. If they did exist, it'd be public. No, actually, if they did exist, you would force them into mandatory arbitration or mediation, and it would be confidential and it would never see the light of day.
Yeah.
That's what would happen. You threaten them, or you'd coerce them and convince them that it would be worse for them to come forward than it would be for them to stay silent.
Was there any, like, so you...
That's my opinion.
Yeah. You've mentioned other, like, lawsuits and settlements or things like that. I mean, disagreements that have maybe been figured out as far as Diplo and other people. Like, was there any option at any point to, like, just settle with him? Like, did he offer you, like, a dollar amount? Be like, hey, drop this case, I'll pay you, and then,
No dollar amount has ever been requested.
Not by
no
you, but,
dollar
like,
amount
him.
has ever been offered.
No?
No
Okay.
dollar amount, both sides. But that's really interesting that you brought this up, because back to the authorities being involved. Back when the authorities were involved with, contacting Gina years ago about, like, the video that he sent me about her, they were also investigating him posting my nudes on Twitter. That's what I got my first TRO for, was because we talked about this in the last podcast. Anyone who wants to know can just go back and reference that. But fast forward, the authorities are investigating this, right? I get an email from the detective, and he says, hey, Mr. Pence's counsel or attorneys are asking if there's another way that you guys can come to a private resolution of this. Is there any way that this can be settled, in a different way than pursuing charges? And I'm just thinking, like, isn't it funny how he's calling me someone who's extorting him? But that kind of sounds like extortion to me. Like, why are you offering a private resolution to you being criminally charged, possibly being criminally charged?
Well, it seems like that's usually kind of the theme, like, when this stuff happens. So, like, the fact that you didn't even get to that point of, like, real conversations about it, I mean, I think it shows how badly you want to, like, see justice go on here, because a lot of people do, will settle. They get a payout, and,
Listen, they've known since day one, and this is the funny thing. He can say that I tried to extort him all he wants. He knows, his lawyers know, my lawyers know. I've never asked for a dollar amount, not one single fucking day. I have not asked for a dollar amount ever. I've specifically said I want him held accountable. I want to go to the end. I want him held accountable. That's all I want.
Is there anything, like, as far as criminal charges that he can, like, go away for, or is it just going to be like
revenge porn?
Yeah.
Unlawful recording is a crime.
I mean,
revenge
also just
porn.
on his record too, right? Almost as like a big warning sign to people, like, hey, look what this man is capable of.
Right. And that's kind of what I love that you even worded it that way, because that's kind of what my intention was in the beginning with pursuing the lawsuit. It was to have everything on record and have everything, like, on paper and show, like, look, this is what this man is capable of, and if it is a pattern of behavior, then at least it's recorded, so that when the next girl comes on, at least she'll be believed.
Yeah.
And, like, at least she'll have the platform or ability to take that action. Yeah.
You had like years of a relationship with him, like talking to him, getting to know him. Do you think, I mean, I'm kind of stuck on the fact that you have not settled or have not gotten to a point where it has been a main point of conversation. Do you think there's, like, maybe some, like, contentious energy from his side where he, like, really, like, cared about you, and now he really despises you, and he kind of wants to keep this going, like, opposed to, like, just paying you out and, like, buying your silence? Like,
I've gotten so many, like, things from other girls too who have said, like, because they've had experiences with him too, and they've said to me, like, I think he really liked you, and I think he really cared, blah blah blah. But, like, I'm not seeing it that way. Like, it's kind of like, I don't like that. I don't want to even think that, because that's, like, kind of just, like, the manipulation aspect of it and the power imbalance too. That's exactly what got me in the situation in the first place. It was, like, people saying, I think he really likes you, and that's why.
The temptation of that, and then you're, like, wrapped back into it all.
Yeah, and so now with the authorities also investigating him on these other charges, and also perjury. Perjury is when you lie under oath. I have proof that he has not only lied during the arbitration under oath, but also within my lawsuit as well. He lied about having herpes, which, by the way, he posted his STD results on his story on Instagram to try to clear that he doesn't have HIV after Gina.
Really?
Yes. Oh. And he didn't take out the part that was positive for herpes.
Oh my gosh, really?
In my lawsuit.
Wait, so he just like kind of admitted it himself?
he's trying to deny that he has HIV, but he messed up and forgot to take that off.
He confirmed that he has herpes.
He confirmed that he has herpes, and he forgot that under oath, under penalty of perjury, he said in my lawsuit, which we have all the documents, he said that he has never been diagnosed with herpes, that he does not have herpes, etc. He said under oath in my lawsuit that he's never distributed my images or videos to any third parties. Guess what? Since this has all come out, 2 girls have sent me proof that he has distributed my pictures and videos to them.
And with the things that you've received too, it's just at this point a pattern.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, so you just mentioned briefly, like, and I don't want to like push on this, that like other girls would tell you like, oh, he really likes you. He talks about you to them. He did that with you as well with other girls, right? Like he just always talks about other women because he sends you videos of them. Like
he didn't talk about me to other women, and he didn't talk about other women to me. He sent me videos to persuade me into having sex with him, which is really weird looking back. Obviously, I was an inexperienced virgin, an idiot, basically. Now that I'm 27, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck, whatever. But at that point, I didn't know I didn't know how that worked. I thought that was normal. I was like, maybe this is what guys do. Maybe guys send this stuff, and maybe guys take these. I don't know.
Like, am I supposed to be into this? Because I'm not.
Yeah. And like I said, the first video that he sent me, he literally said, this is what you're missing out on. You can get it like this next time.
Did you, so like when he did send the video of Gina, did you know her name? Like, did he say her name?
No, he didn't say her name.
Did you later on see a picture of her and then click the two that it was her? Mm-hmm. And then
she has very identifiable features. Mm-hmm. She has tattoos. She has like very distinct features. There's other girls too that had there was a girl that he sent me a video of, and she has a mole on her face, and her face is in it. And I saw her in line like a couple months later at Sweet Green next to my job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, this is how like
you didn't
that's
say
how
anything,
reckless he is.
obviously, right?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah. When you did say something about Gina's video to the police, like, can you give me like a time reference for that? Like, because it wasn't right when you got it, right? It was kind of later on when you started to turn, I guess, against Diplo.
It was additional information to them investigating my revenge porn. Mm-hmm. So I was showing, look, he has a pattern of this. He has distributed other girls to me as well. And
I just wonder how they like at that point, did you know it was Gina? Like at that point you've seen her picture. Okay, so then you're like, this is that woman.
This
Here you
is
go.
her, and I don't know. Listen, the police, they were able to find her, and because apparently I think they called her.
Interesting, they'll go to like people for that, because I don't know. I just thought the police were always like so advanced, like in advanced when it comes to like technology. Like you see all these YouTubers doxxed and threats and terrible things. I mean, I get terrible messages. My family does too, and it's like, please don't ever do anything. So
yeah, it's harder when you don't know who the person is. That's the thing. So because it was very identifiable, you know, like when you have like trolls and stuff, it's a little bit harder, I guess, to track them. I don't know.
So they notified her, but did they notify him that he was being accused of sending that?
That's exactly why his lawyers asked if they could speak to me, or if they asked the detective if it was possible for him to give them my information so that they can speak to me about coming to a resolution for this and not, you know, go pursuing charges, or if I had attorneys that they could speak to, which at the time I did, but it wasn't pertaining to the criminal matter. So it was like they were trying to kind of go around it. You know, they wanted to go around like the lawyers that I had for the lawsuit, and they just wanted to make sure that charges weren't pressed. In the end, they weren't able to find him liable for it because they weren't able to attach the IP address to his. It was very complicated, and also there were statute of limitations too.
Yeah.
There were multiple things. He was getting investigated by the police for the chlamydia. Mm-hmm. He giving me chlamydia. He was getting investigated for the revenge porn, and I forgot what the other ones are. But yeah.
Are there any threats of like a statute of limitations like affecting your case at all?
For that criminal one, the one that just passed, there were, I forgot what they were, but there were some of them. Right now, no.
No, not for the current case.
No, especially with these 2 new girls who have come forward and like sent me the revenge porn, and then now the perjury too. That's another thing too that he can.
Is that something you can attach to your current lawsuit?
Yeah.
So, because I guess, did he give that testimony within your lawsuit? So now you can call him on perjury. Okay, that's great for you. I'm
Which
glad
is crazy that he keeps saying like that I'm the liar. Like he lies with ease. He lies with ease.
And he's bad at it too because he's caught up in it and he's posting his own STD results. Like also who does that? Like it's kind of like it's just so icky. Like he clearly does not know how to like just handle like this and take any accountability. He's like on the defense and it's bad defense.
Yeah, I don't know what his PR team is doing, but I guess I don't know if he has one. He should invest in that instead of
all these lawyers. Or maybe invest in a therapist.
And a therapist. That'd be great if he could invest in a freaking therapist.
This TRO that you just had approved by the judge, when was this when did that go down? Like in the last month, right?
Yeah.
And you, again, what did you put for your reason to get that TRO?
I put him sending revenge porn to the girl. I put the unlawful recording of the arbitration that he recorded me without consent, and now he's offering it to others, which clearly, obviously, everything he said to Becca was not just what he said to Becca. I'm sure that's what he's saying to everyone that he speaks to, which is a blatant lie. He freaking said to Becca that I said, and it's crazy because like we have the transcripts of the arbitration. Like both of us have the transcripts. He told Becca that I said that I had sex with G-Eazy and the Chainsmokers before having sex with him.
Oh, really?
I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
Are you out of your freaking mind? He has to be.
Well, he's been living in this world for so long too. Maybe that's like those are the common lies he thinks are normal because it's not.
Yeah, and also it's probably at this point it's like, what's the most outrageous thing that I can say that can just make her look the most outrageous? That's what I think that he's thinking, because even the fact that there's repetition in him lying under oath, he doesn't give a fuck about it. Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck about lying. He'll lie under oath. You think he cares about lying to a stranger or to his friends?
Yeah.
Telling Gina that I hacked his phone. Bro, if I hacked your phone,
we'll do a little like.
Well, if he's having sex with minors and he's recording it, which I have had a girl come forward to me also and say that happened to her. So if he's having sex with minors and recording it, that is considered SP. Yeah, that's considered CP. CPs.
So wait, again, the restraining. So you put that on the restraining order as well. Is there anything else? So we've got the revenge porn. We've got the
messages to Becca.
Asking
for my ID and blah, blah, blah.
So those things together got you an approved TRO. Now, what does that TRO protect you from?
Him being able to distribute any of those things to anyone. And also
can he talk about you? It doesn't stop him from like, if he wanted to go and message Becca or message me after this and be like, hey, can he talk all about you?
No, the TRO is in place for him to not be able to harass me anymore. He cannot disturb my peace. He cannot reach out to these people and try to harass me, and
So, and how long does that last for? Because
it's
it is
like
temporary.
It's 2 weeks, so we have court on that in a couple days.
Oh,
but then
Do you show up for that, like in person? Yeah. Will he show up in person
He's
or no?
He's supposed to, yeah.
Or could he send a lawyer just to do it for him?
He's supposed to show up.
Oh, really?
But his lawyers will too.
Does that give you anxiety?
I mean, I had the arbitration with him for like 3 months,
so
and I had to see him every fucking day. But it does give me major anxiety. But even I've been through it already, like I've already been through it with the arbitration.
Does he like look at you when you're at those things? Like arbitration, does he like stare at you, or like is he like looking down, looking away? Or...
He would look and he would make faces and he would roll his eyes and he would make little side comments. And that's what's crazy is because like one of the things that I had mentioned was how I was worried that he was going to be recording me during the arbitration, and lo and behold, he did. He's under investigation for unlawful recording and revenge porn, and he's still offering it, just like he offered it in his Instagram post. He offered any media who wants to see it, wants to see the videos. Like, that's how careless and reckless he is. He doesn't care. He does not care. And then I think at the end of that post, he's like, this isn't me, and everyone who knows me knows that this is not me, and that's not the type of person I am. And it just reminded me of R. Kelly. Do you remember that interview with R. Kelly?
Where he like jumped up and he like freaked out. Yeah. It's like
that's him.
Truly living in delusion land.
No, yeah. But what I did want to say, okay, so with the FBI, and I wanted to talk about like the power imbalance, right? So one thing that I've realized is that why so many girls have been afraid to come forward before is because who knows, maybe he's done this to them too. But when I first started calling him out on his shit,
Yeah.
This was literally during the height of the Black Lives Matter protests. I remember like that was like the first day that they had like every single city was doing it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of like us going back and forth and me saying all the things that he did, he's like, I'm going to get the FBI involved with you. He threatened me with the FBI and I go, what? I'm like, for what? Like your white privilege is showing. I literally wrote him and I said, your white privilege is showing. You're really going to fucking say you're going to get the FBI involved with me?
Yeah.
There's Black Lives Matter protests happening as we speak and you're saying you're going to get the FBI on me? That's how much your white privilege, that's how empowered and emboldened you feel by your white privilege, that you can threaten me because you know that type of threat, it's like, who's going to be more believed, me, the powerful white rich man, or you, the black girl?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think he's just got like almost just the most entitled person I've seen. Like there's some problem here, clearly some mental illness, like, and even the notes you gave me too, like you mentioned like how he could be allegedly, or I mean in your case you believe so, he infected you with these STDs. He's going around like finishing, like coming in women without their permission. You even mentioned a time where he did that to you and you had to go and get Plan B. And what was that like?
Yeah, so that's another thing of like the power play that he has. Yeah, so in my lawsuit, that's one of the things that I'm suing him for, because that's considered assault.
Yeah.
You can't come inside someone without consent.
Yeah.
You know, and he finished inside me, and I had to go buy a Plan B the next day. And then last time, remember when we talked about like the horrible like yeast infection that I got, I kind of thought maybe that's why, like maybe that was also why I got that.
It's also really hard on your body, right? Plan B is? Don't you like feel so sick?
Yeah, I mean, dude, losing your virginity, getting that, and then having to take a Plan B, and then getting the STDs from it too. Like, it's just crazy. It's been a really, really, really traumatic and like draining experience. That the next day I called my aunt and I told her what happened, and she was like, you need to go and get a Plan B today. Yeah. And I'm like,
you do not want this man's baby.
Yeah, what is... I was even kind of like, wait, what? What's a Plan B? Yeah. She had to tell me. She's like, go to CVS, ask them for a Plan B, and you need to take it. Then go to Planned Parenthood. Like, literally. Oh my God. I had to buy a fucking Plan B, like $50, $60, I think.
Yeah, they're expensive. They're not like, you know.
But isn't that crazy? It's like you're finishing inside girls, and it's just an irresponsible negligence. It's like, I don't even know. I wonder how many girls he's done that to.
Just like so objectifying too. It's just kind of like they're just like,
yeah. And then like, what if they want to keep it, or what if they get pregnant?
Yeah. Then what? Is he gonna dish out Diplo child support?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how many girls out there have. If there's any girls out there
with Diplo babies,
come forward. Yeah. No, but seriously, like, it's just reckless. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap up. Is there anything else I think we covered everything that we wanted to update on, right?
I think so.
I think so too. Well, if you guys want to go and check out more from Shelly, or if you are someone who's a victim as well, you need somewhere to go, you know, we are more than happy to hear you out. So we will list everything, all of socials listed below, her TikTok, her Instagram, your Twitter, and we'll also list that GoFundMe. Definitely go check out the GoFundMe.
Seriously, like any amount helps. Oh my God, you know what's crazy? I told you about this already, I think, but
are you talking about
one of my favorite actresses, really? I don't want to say her name.
Okay.
I don't want to say her name, but one of my favorite actresses donated to my GoFundMe.
Really?
Which is crazy, and it's like so validating.
Yeah.
When like you know that like someone who's in that realm believes you and wants to help. She's very iconic.
I wonder if she knows something too.
I know. I was wondering that too.
Yeah. Well, that's like amazing. And maybe she's like heard your story too. Like,
yeah, I'll say that she's an actress from Mean Girls.
Oh, okay.
But I won't say which one.
Yeah.
But she's iconic, and I love her, and I'm so freaking thankful for that. And it helped me be able to even retain the lawyer that I have now, that's now helping me finally get protection.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's important and that's amazing. And thank you for being brave and speaking out. If you guys want to go and follow Shelly, everything's listed below. And just kudos to you. Like, keep on like speaking out. And we're always here to listen to you and any updates. And I mean, there's going to be more because you are fighting this case and you've got everyone behind you. So.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that this time the authorities get it right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we hope. Is it in Stanley Moss Courthouse?
Yeah, and then also LAPD.
Corruption.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, Stanley. That's where Brittany was screwed over at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
LAPD also, I've heard some things, but they're the ones who are investigating. And then they also have like the FBI, which is ironic that he threatened me with the FBI because now the FBI is investigating him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in a new episode soon. Bye, guys.